Didn't hear you. Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go. Who do you guys think we're learning about this morning? Not out of you two, you guys know. Any of you other ones? Yes, you're going to learn about David and Goliath this morning. You guys have heard the story, haven't you?
Yeah.
You have? All right. You ready? I'm going to be reading out of the NLT version so the kids understand better. So. Oh. When I say then Goliath, you can. Okay. All right. The Philistines now muttered their army for battle, and they camped between Succoth and Judah and Azekah at the Ephes-Dammim, something like that. I don't know. Samuel countered by gathering his Israelite troops near the valley of Elah, so the Philistines and Israelites faced each other on opposite hills with the valley between them. Then Goliath, the Philistine champion of Gath, came out in the Philistines' ring to face the forces of Israel. Stop there for a minute. Don't forget the helmet. Now, how tall do you think Goliath was?
10 foot.
Close.
9 foot.
Yes, he was 9 feet, almost 10 feet tall. Isn't that tall? No. This is Goliath. This is my replica of Goliath. All right. Now, it don't say how tall David was in the Bible, but researchers say he was around 5'5". So I'm going to use Brother Tony as an example to give you an idea on the height difference between Goliath and David. Isn't that a crazy height difference? Can you imagine going up someone against that tall? All right, and keep on reading. And he wore a bronze helmet. So Derek, you want to put on his helmet?
Oh, pick the shortest kid.
Well, I figured you. Okay, Samantha. Now, the helmet protects your head.
Samantha.
No, don't. On Goliath. Now, the helmet protected your head in war so you didn't get your head injured. And his bronze coat of mail weighed 125 pounds.
Whoa.
That's heavy, huh?
Uh-huh.
That'd be okay.
His helmet's just gonna lay on the floor.
That's fine. Here,
Here, just lay
James.
Lay it here.
Okay.
It sat on there last night.
All right. James, I'll have you put the
James.
mail on. So the mail protected your chest from getting hurt. It stopped all the sharp weapons and stuff that were coming at you when they fought, so you didn't get hurt.
I'm gonna put it right there. Ish. I can't see, so. Okay. Sit down.
And he also wore bronze leg armor. Tori? And then Lily, what's going on? Now, these are also kind of like a shin guard. It protects your shin from getting hurt. Your shin is this part. And he carried a bronze javelin on his shoulder. Now, I don't have a javelin with me, but what I understand what that was back then was basically a long, sharp, pointy stick that they would throw at people. That's what they used as a weapon. And then the shaft of his spear was as heavy and thick as a weaver's beam, tipped with an iron spearhead that weighed 15 pounds. this is the spear. This is kind of what that would have looked like back then, just much taller, not this short. Yeah.
Good.
And he also carried a sword. This is also part of his mail. You have the sword. Here, Dirk. Oh. Come on. The sword went right here and that went right there. Well, it went somewhere. But he also had arm pieces, well, arm armor. Hey, Boo Boo, come here. You can help put armor on. You can join us. This goes on the arms. Now, the arm armor helped protect your forearm so your forearm didn't get hurt. That's what it did, James. It protected it. And last, his armor bearer walked ahead of him carrying a shield. So he also had a shield with him that he put on. Now, the shield they used to block all the weapons coming at him. This is what it looks like all together. Isn't that a lot of armor?
No.
Wouldn't that be, can you imagine wearing that much armor? Wouldn't that be heavy? James, Samantha, stop. Wouldn't that be heavy, guys? Can't hear you.
Yes.
I know. All right, we'll keep on beating. Goliath stood and shouted in taunt across the Israelites. "Why are you all coming out to fight?" he called. "I am the Philistine champion, but you are only the servant of Saul. Choose one man to come down here and fight me. If he kills me, then we will be your slaves. But if I kill him, you will be our slaves. I defy the armies of Israel today. Send me a man who will fight me." When Saul and the Israelites heard this, they were terrified and deeply shaken. Now David was the son of a man named Jesse, from Bethlehem in the land of Judah. Jesse was an old man at that time, and he had 8 sons. Jesse's 3 oldest sons, Eliab, Abinab, something like that, Shimea, had already joined Saul's army to fight the Philistines. David was the youngest son. David's 3 oldest brothers stayed with Saul's army. But David went back and forth so he could help his father with the sheep in Bethlehem. For 40 days, every morning and the evening, the Philistine champions strutted in front of the Israelite army. One day Jesse said to David, "Take this basket of roast grain and these 10 loaves of bread and carry them quickly to your brothers. And give these 10 cuts of cheese to their captain. See how your brothers are getting along and bring back a report on how they are doing." David's brothers were with Saul and the Israelites' army at the valley of Elah, fighting against the Philistines. So David left the sheep with another shepherd and set out early the next morning with the gifts, as Jesse had directed him. He had arrived at the camp just as the Israelite army was leaving for the battlefield with shouts and battle cries. Soon the Israelites and the Philistine forces stood facing each other, armies against army. David left his things with the keeper of supplies and hurried out to the ranks to greet his brothers. As he was talking to them, Goliath, the Philistine champion from Gath, came out from the Philistine ranks. Then David heard him shout his usual taunt to the army of Israel. As soon as the Israelite army saw him, they began to run away in fright. "Have you seen the giant?" the men asked. "He comes out each day to defy Israel. The king has offered a huge reward to anyone who kills him. He will give that man one of his daughters for wife, and the man's entire family will be exempted from paying taxes." David asked the soldiers standing nearby, "What will a man get for killing the Philistine and ending his defiance of Israel? Who is this pagan Philistine anyway? And is he allowed to defy the armies of the living God?" And these men gave David the same reply. They said, "Yes, that is a reward for killing him." But when David's oldest brother Eliab heard David talking to the men, he was angry. "What are you doing around here anyway?" he demanded. "What about those few sheep you're supposed to be taking care of? I know about your pride and deceit. You just want to see the battle." "What have I done now?" David replied. "I was only asking a question." He walked over to some others and asked them the same thing and received the same answer. Then David's question was reported to King Saul, and the king sent for him. "Don't worry about the Philistine," David told Saul. "I'll go fight him." "Don't be ridiculous," Saul replied. "There is no way you can fight this Philistine and possibly win. You're only a boy," and he had been a man of war since his youth. I'm going to stop there. Now, how do you think David felt when King Saul replied to him like that?
Sad.
How do you guys think he felt?
Sad.
He probably did. Can you imagine someone coming up to you and telling you that you were too short to do something? Or they didn't believe in you? Do you think that would make you feel very good? Do you think Saul should have maybe encouraged David a little better? He probably should have. He'd probably be like, if that's what you feel like you need to do. Now, we need to be careful when we are talking to our friends. Because if our friends, they want to support us and we want to support them, but we got to be careful on what we support. Now, I'm going to use an example. For example, if Brother Matt is aggravated with another member in the congregation, and they ask to be baptized, should he drown them when he baptizes them? No, he should not. So should we support that? No, we shouldn't. Now, no. Or if your sibling is really irritated at you and you would have hit him, should we encourage each other to hit siblings? Samantha. No, we should not. We should learn how even though when we're mad at someone to control what we're feeling. If you talk it out with parents. Just try to stay calm and you don't act. Because if you act, it could make somebody look at you the way you don't want them to look at you. And you don't want that. So, it's kind of like with David and Goliath. David had already fought the bear and the lion and another thing. I don't remember what it was. But he had already fought those two big things, and they're like twice his size. Goliath is like 5 times his size, maybe. And just Saul talking to him like that, it probably did hurt him a little bit. So we need to learn how to be careful when we're mad or sad or when we're supporting someone else. So we want to make sure it's for the right reason. You don't want to do it for the wrong reason. So always listen to God and try to be a good influence. Yeah, that's all I've got.